AFTN, straight ahead.
My name is Kurt Pickering. I served in the Air Force from 75 to 79, and I was in Thailand. I went to Nakhon Phanom Air Base in September of 75. I was there 1 month, and then they closed that base, and I was transferred to Korat, where I served until the following March of 76, and then they closed that base, and I was sent to Utapao, and I stayed there 3 months, and then they closed that base, and I went to Clark Air Base in the Philippines, where I finished out my overseas tour. I guess the Korat tour was the longest, and at Korat, I was the sports anchor for the evening and late TV reports, and in between there, I did a country music 1 hour per night country show on the radio side. And it couldn't have been that same stretch, but I also anchored, you'll hear something about Korat Local and Korat Network. The network did the news and fed it to all the stations in Thailand, and I did that for a while too. The country thing was kind of neat because I grew up in Ohio where country music was not cool. So then I got thrown into this country show over there, and I started out playing the crossovers. Of course, the audience wanted to hear the real stuff, and I started playing it and fell in love with the Merle Haggards and Buck Owenses and Hank Williams Seniors. And eventually, when I got into commercial radio, I didn't go look for jobs in the pop world. I went to the country stations. And from the time I got out of the service until 1982 or so, I was a country music disc jockey. Eventually, I went into news, and that's what I had a long career in. But it's just so funny because when I was a teenager in high school planning a career in radio, I would have shot you in the foot if you'd have suggested I'd have gone into country radio. But I really liked it. It's a good sound. The TV thing, I was never very comfortable in front of a camera, and I got thrown into that. I think I got that gig because I was the hugest sports fan Jack Click ever met. And so I wound up doing the sports report. I can talk to a big room of people, but a small room of people or a TV camera made me nervous. And I really didn't like that gig, and I didn't get over it. Now, I'm a spokesman now for a government agency. I talk to cameras all the time, and I've gotten used to it. But in those days, the camera really, really bothered me. When the red light went on, I got very nervous. The diaphragm came up about 2 feet. You know how that goes. But I got over that eventually, too. So one day I'm ripping and reading, and I was always bad for that. I read cold pretty well, but it can get you in trouble. I tear this off. I've got it in my hand. I haven't even looked at it. I hold it up and key the mic, start into it. Headlining the news, the United Rubbers Workers Strike entered its 16th day today. And I just realized what I said, shut off the mic, cracked up, ran 2 spots instead of 1. Eventually, I got myself back on track and did the newscast. But it was just a simple slip of the tongue, rubbers instead of rubber. Boy, when I realized what I said, I cracked up. That was probably the funniest thing I ever did on the air in Thailand. Totally unintentional.